Donald Trump has been throwing a tantrum all day and is lashing out at state regime media, which calls itself Fox. That's right. Trump is lashing out and attacking Fox because they had the audacity to allow on one of their programs, get this, a Democratic Congress member, Khanna, appeared on a program on state regime media, which calls itself Fox. They tried to press him using Trump and MAGA talking points, and Democratic Congress member Khanna calmly, coolly, and confidently brought the receipts and explained what the American people are really feeling right now under this despicable Trump regime. And the Fox hosts were left stunned. They were silent. They had no way to rebut the truth bombs that Democratic Congress member Khanna was dropping on live TV. And Trump was watching this and he was ranting and raving like, why are you just letting him say the truth? And he went on his social media platform, which has the dystopian name Truth Social, which is just all lies and propaganda. And he started attacking Fox. He started attacking Khanna. He lost his damn mind. And then Khanna responded. This is the way, folks. This is how it's done. Hat tip to Democratic Congress member Khanna for fighting fire with the truth and extinguishing the fire of lies, the cauldron of lies, with facts. We wrote on the MeidasTouch network account, Trump lashing out at Fox News, accusing the network of undermining MAGA and the Republican Party, and claiming that MAGA Republicans hate Fox. He blames Fox for making it hard for Republicans to win elections. Donald Trump posted the following: "You could listen to Fox News all day long, absolutely devour it. But then when you hear sleazebags like Congressman Khanna, a wolf in sheep's clothing, lie, 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 and lie again without any pushback or competent rebuttal from an anchor, in this case, Jackie Heinrich, the entire common sense dialogue that has been going on all day at Fox is completely obliterated. Why would Fox put scum like this on, or others, such as low-rated Bill Maher, who gains credibility by constant referral to him as though he were a liberal source of wisdom, or very low IQ Hakeem Jeffries, who considers the Supreme Court illegitimate and probably hates our country, no matter how fair and balanced the day's news at Fox may be. The end result is destroyed when professional liars, conmen, and liberal crooked politicians. This is why MAGA Republicans, who are actually close to 100% of the party, hate Fox, despite the wonderful contributions made by so many of their great anchors and commentators. Hard to win elections like this. Donald J. Trump. Who are you talking about, Donald? Mark Levin or Sean Hannity? Your bootlickers? Those weirdos, is that who you're talking about? Democratic Congress member Khanna fired back right away at Donald Trump's post, and he goes, "So this is Trump's second attack of the day on me. This is why I go on Fox. This is why I talk about an economic agenda to build steel, ship, and battery plants in hollowed out communities. This is why I talk to everyone, including Trump voters, without hurling insults. This is how Democrats will win and unite the country." And it should be noted that Democratic Congressmember Khanna worked with Republican Thomas Massie in Kentucky to lead the way to release the Epstein files, which we know has been Donald Trump's worst nightmare, and Trump and his regime continue to cover up the child sex trafficking ring. Now, earlier in the day, Donald Trump posted this message: Khanna was living rent-free and is living rent-free in Donald Trump's pathetic tiny mind. Donald Trump posted the following: "The sleazebag, radical left congressman from the failed state of California, Khanna, should not be allowed on Fox News unless you have an anchor who is capable of disputing his lies, one after another, and closing down his fake bullshit narrative. He is similar but worse than Hakeem Jeffries, only with a somewhat higher IQ. This morning he tried on behalf of the Democrats to take credit for the steel industry pouring back into the U.S., knowing full full well that the dumbs virtually destroyed it, and I saved it through strong tariffs. Plus, our country was dead during the last administration, and now it's hotter than ever before. We can't allow the Democrats to take credit for this. If elected, they will fully destroy our thriving and now very respected nation. I will not let that happen. Donald J. Trump. Want to talk about the fact, shall we bring receipts? There was a manufacturing boom under former President Biden, and Donald Trump stopped that boom. Now we're in a jobs recession. Donald Trump's tariffs against the world have been disastrous for American workers, and Donald Trump bragging that he's brought in $18 to $21 trillion from foreign countries, or that he's going to sell gold cards, or he's going to paint the reflecting pool American flag blue, whatever the hell that means, and that's going to make us better. We all know what a two-bit bankrupt con man and idiot he is. Now, Democratic Congressmember Khanna posted the following message. The man building a ballroom with foreign steel probably shouldn't call himself the champion of American steel. But as you learn from the Epstein files, I'm open to working across the aisle. So how about signing my steel bill to actually rebuild the American steel industry? Now, if you're like, hey, what was the appearance by Khanna that set Donald Trump off, that threw Trump into this tantrum that he spent the whole day attacking state regime media, which calls itself Fox? Here's what Khanna had to say. Let's play it.
We're still going to win the House. The reason we're going to win the House is gas prices are up, food prices are up. People don't like the fact that we're in a war in Iran. They don't like the fact that the Trump administration hasn't released the Epstein files or held the Epstein class accountable. But I was very disappointed in the Virginia Supreme Court overturning an election. And then you have the Supreme Court basically taking away black districts in the Deep South that Dr. King and John Lewis fought for. So this isn't about winning the House. We're going to win back the House anyway. This is about reversing some of the progress we made in the civil rights movement.
More from Congressmember Khanna right here. Let's play it.
Well, there was an election. I believe that the voters of Virginia clearly spoke, and the Virginia Supreme Court should have deferred to what the Virginia voters wanted. But the bigger problem, in my view, I mean, I'm opposed to that Virginia decision, but the bigger problem is the Supreme Court, which is basically saying, you can take away Jim Clyburn's district in South Carolina. I mean, think about that. For 100 years after Jim Crow, we did not have a single black member in South Carolina. The first black member after the 1890s was Jim Clyburn. And now the Supreme Court is saying you can take away that district, so you may not have any black member from South Carolina, where slavery actually came through the port of Charleston. That is not about politics. It's about history. And that's what I find really concerning.
And here's what Congress, this is the one that I think really got to Donald Trump. I think the others did, but Donald Trump is so excited for his trip to China to see Xi Jinping, because Donald Trump wants that photo with him and Xi Jinping in front of the Chinese soldiers standing at attention so Donald Trump can feel strong. You know, Donald Trump says, Xi, they call you the king, Xi. And Donald Trump has thrown our Asian alliances under the bus. He's dismantled our security umbrella in Asia because Trump wants this photo op with Xi Jinping. Never mind the fact that the Iranian Foreign Minister Araghchi has been visiting in China very recently with Wang Yi, China's foreign minister, and China gave a state's celebratory welcome to Araghchi. They treated him like a conquering hero. And of course, we know, even if China denies it, that China and Russia are helping Iran get equipment and helping Iran's economy. And we all know that. But Donald Trump, he wants that photo with Xi Jinping. And here is what Khanna said, because Khanna reminds, but weren't you Republicans all claiming you were China hawks? Remember, they go, we're hawks, right? Whatever the hell that means. The Republicans are always use the term hawks. We're budget hawks. We're deficit hawks. We're China hawks. We're defense hawks. They're just stupid words that they use when it's like, you've made us weaker. You've increased the deficit. You've increased the debt. What do you mean you're What do you mean you're a hawk? And what is it? What are you even talking about? Anyway, here talking, we're a China hawk. Dude, y'all threw Taiwan under the bus in less than 2 seconds. Okay, here's what Khanna had to say. Play this clip.
I want to get your thoughts on the China trip, because you're doing this tour across 3 states, Pennsylvania, Ohio, and Michigan, talking about competition with China. And I want to ask, what do you hope to achieve with that? And how does it relate, if any, to what the president's trying to effort overseas next week?
Well, I heard your earlier report, and I hope the president's going to get a better deal for our soybean farmers. I mean, the reality is that our soybean farmers are hurting, our corn farmers are hurting. We need to have more export markets opened in China and around the world. The second thing we learned is that China has been bringing in investment into the United States and having some of these factories open up that are hiring people who are undocumented, abusing hours. There's a glass manufacturer in Ohio. That cannot go on. The president needs to make it clear to China that they should not be opening up manufacturing in the United States, subsidizing it and violating the law. And the final point is that they shouldn't be engaged in subsidies of their industry and dumping. When I was in Cleveland at the Port of Cleveland, I was horrified to see Chinese steel there. Why aren't we getting that from Cleveland Cliff or an American steel company?
Do you feel that this is a bipartisan issue in Congress?
I do. John Mulinar, who's the chair of the China Committee, and I have worked together. We don't want any Chinese-connected cars in the United States. We need to protect American cars. We want to have a steel be American steel, not be importing Chinese steel. And we don't want China playing unfairly. I mean, there's some of these companies that they're setting up in the United States, they're not, they're violating labor laws, and they simply are not competing on a level playing field. And so I'm the top Democrat on the China Committee, and on these issues, I often work closely with John Mulinar, who's the chair.
True self-reliance starts with taking control of your own health. Armra Colostrum is nature's original solution. Colostrum is packed with over 400 bioactive nutrients that fortify gut health and strengthen immune health to build resilience at the cellular level. Because when you invest in your health, you invest in your ability to show up, think clearly, and stay in control no matter what life throws your way. Today's environment is filled with toxins, processed foods, modern stressors, and immune disruptors. Nourish your microbiome and strengthen your barriers to support your immune health. Armra Colostrum is your secret to feeling strong, vibrant, and confident again. Not seeing results with your current routine? Colostrum is packed with 400 plus bioactive nutrients that work like a blueprint for your body, promoting your cells' natural renewal processes to support skin, hair, gut health, metabolism, immune health, lean muscle, and whole body vitality. Strengthen your gut integrity and support healthy fat metabolism to empower your body with the blueprint to revitalize health from the inside out. We've worked out a special offer for my audience. Receive 30% off your first subscription order. Go to armra.com/Meidas or enter Meidas to get 30% off your first subscription order. That's armra.com/Meidas.
Oh, I just want to remind you as well, this follows Khanna going right to the belly of the beast, to the heart of Fox's Death Star, if you will. And he went on to Maria Bartiromo and he said, "Oh, former President Obama, so much better than Donald Trump." Let's play this clip.
Same $1.7 billion he told Congress was frozen Iranian assets. Now, there was a back channel to Tehran through Valerie Jarrett, active for 2012 to 2024. This was after he left office. So, it was almost like a shadow government. He also sent pellets of cash in a plane to Iran. Now, why would you send money to Iran knowing that they are building a nuclear weapon and they are the leading sponsor of terrorism?
Barack Obama was a great statesman who left America much safer. I wouldn't put Donald Trump in the same paragraph. The reality is when President Obama left, because of the great efforts of people like Valerie Jarrett, we had 97% of the enriched uranium out. The reality is we didn't have 13 American service members dead. The reality is we never had gas go up from $2.30 to $4. The reality is we did not give China more role in the region. Let me finish, Maria. I'll let you finish.
Okay,
we didn't give China more role in the region. We did not give the IRGC a more hardline regime in there. You know why? Because Obama actually actually did his homework. He actually tried to engage in statesmanship. He got China, Russia, the entire European allies on board with getting Iran on a path to not having a nuclear weapon. All Trump did is listen to Netanyahu. That's his entire foreign policy. And you know what? I resent the fact that Israel is going to tell the United States what to do. The American president should call the shots in this country.
And, well, the American president should call the shots in this country, but you...
Then he talked about how, wait, now you want to just throw $400 billion more in a war in Iran? Play this clip.
You've supported several unsuccessful resolutions to limit President Trump's war powers in Iran. Do you think President Trump will be able to secure congressional authorization for this war?
No, Christian, let me be clear. We need to end this war. Americans are struggling. Gas prices are up, food prices are up, housing costs are up. The reason those prices are up is because the Strait of Hormuz is closed and because of this war. It's caused devastation for working families. The president ran saying that he would bring prices down. Prices are up in his administration. And the way most Americans want this war to end, even 54% of Republicans believe we need negotiation to end the war. The Pope is saying end the war. Americans agree with the Pope. We need a negotiated settlement, and this war needs to end this week.
And then he was on Fox again, and he was talking about how you don't need to threaten genocide to get Iran to open up the Strait of Hormuz. Here, play this clip right here.
I think we need to look at the history of the way that President Trump negotiates these things and to see that, unless you're very clear and you have a serious stick that you're holding over this situation, you're not likely to get anywhere.
Martha, you don't have to threaten genocide to get Iran to open up the Strait of Hormuz. I mean, we've lost the plot here. The president has lost the plot. The president went in to say that he wanted to free the Iranian people. Now he's talking about destroying 90 million people.
I was speaking with Nazimonian, and I've spoken with a lot of Iranian activists
and do they
who want this.
They want him to threaten to wipe out 91 million people?
I think they understand what
this is not,
I don't think anyone's talking about
this. Is not a New York real estate deal. He's the president of the United States.
Yeah.
The commander-in-chief was saying we're going to kill 91 million people. I guess the question is, what do you suggest?
So what did Fox try to do in order to appease Donald Trump? Well, they brought this dude on, Kevin Hassett, Donald Trump's national economic advisor, who's quite literally been wrong about every economic thing. Like, this is the guy telling everybody you need to buy right before the dot-com boom went bust and there was the massive dot-com crash. He was the guy saying, buy, then boom, the next day. I think he put out a book right around then. Same thing before the Great Recession. The guy is a great indicator of you do the opposite of what you said. He lies all the time. He's wrong about everything. But I just want to show you. So you got Donald Trump attacking Khanna. And then so State Regime puts on their regime guy, Hassett. And then Hassett preemptively blames Democrats in blue states for the fact that GDP is not growing where it should. Here, play this clip.
And so for sure, in the aggregate, we're looking at 4% economic growth because of all the productivity from AI, all the capital spending and so on. But the drag on the economy is that the blue states are actually hemorrhaging jobs. And so if we disappoint at all, it'll be because of like what happens to New York State, what happens to California because of these misguided policies.
Well, as Maria always says, money is mobile.
And then he lies because you just get on Fox and unlike Ro Khanna, who deals with facts, deals with the truth, the Trump regime's national economic advisor goes, oh, they're talking about a manufacturing boom. Under Biden, all the jobs were illegal aliens. That's why they were eating your cats and dogs, remember? It was all the illegals. I mean, just completely false. What do you mean it was all the illegals? That's their go-to move. Just lie. I mean, these sociopath, psychotic liars just show up there and go, well, the Democrats all legal. Dude, they lie about everything. Here, play this clip right here.
Right to work. And we did an analysis when we first got into the White House that showed that almost all of the job creation that happened under President Biden was the employment of illegal aliens. And so by securing the border, by reinforcing immigration law, there were some that said that we wouldn't have enough workers to grow the economy. You can remember that. But in fact, what has happened is great high-paying jobs have been going to American citizens, which is really what the intent of President Trump's policy was.
Told you they lie about everything. So then Maria Bartiromo was like, all right, so what kind of GDP growth are we thinking for next year? What are you thinking? Well, I think 6%. I think we'll do 6%. Okay, here, play this clip right here.
If you look at how fast the capital stock is growing, that's sort of like how much stuff that we make stuff with. It's between 5 and 8% right now. If you divide that by 3, that's about how much GDP growth you get out of just capital spending. We've got productivity growth at 2.5. I think we really could be looking at numbers north of 4, north of 5, north of even 6, because there's so much capital stock growth right now. Remember that the 2% number that you saw for GDP growth, the reason why it was 2% and not 4 or 5% was that we imported a record number of capital goods because we're building all these factories. Once we turn those factories on, you're going to see really growth unlike anything we've seen before.
And then Maria Bartiromo was like, all right, well, in terms of gas prices, is this going to mean higher gas prices for consumers? And then Kevin Hassett's like, well, in the short run, but we're right around the corner. Don't you worry. Right around the corner. That's the golden age. We know we told you that it would be the second quarter of last year, then the third quarter, then the fourth quarter, then the first quarter. It's right around the Maria, this is we're right where we need to be right now, Maria. Here, play this clip.
So in terms of the price of oil and gas and this spike, this has to mean higher costs for corporate America and for consumers.
Well, it does in the short run. And you mentioned Secretary Bessent, who follows these numbers. You know, he made a lot of money following these numbers in the past and being able to trade. And he says these futures markets are saying that basically once we get the Strait open, then there's going to be a gusher of oil released from the Gulf, and that's going to help put prices down relatively quickly. Now, there's a little bit of a time lag from that. We've got to get the boats to move from the Persian Gulf to especially Asia, where jet fuel prices are so high, and that can take a month or two. But once, basically the gusher opens, then we expect that oil prices could drop relatively quickly and certainly ahead of the election.
Right? These are wild. What are we talking about here? Well, everybody hit subscribe. We're about to hit 7 million subscribers. Hit subscribe right now. Thanks everybody for watching. We appreciate you and have a good one.
New Meidas merch. Head to store.MeidasTouch.com today and get yourself the best pro-democracy gear and show your support. That's store.MeidasTouch.com.